Bostons are wicked smart, almost too smart for their own good. They are bright, lively, and they absolutely want to make you happy. They aren't herding sheep like the header implies, but they are highly trainable. It is a profound social intelligence. They are called the American gentleman for a reason. They read your emotions like a book. They react to your cues instantly. It is literally bred into them. That is their superpower. But here is the kicker. That brain power mixed with terrier stubbornness, it is a hurdle. They spot holes in your game fast. They will charm you into breaking the rules. If drills get boring, they check out. If they feel unappreciated, they just quit. So housebreaking takes patience. You need clear boundaries. You need to be genuinely excited. Since they thrive on connection, positive reinforcement is the only language that works. Punitive stuff? Don't do it. It just causes them to shut down completely. Now, let's talk about location. Your journey starts with picking a permanent bathroom spot. Establish this the second you walk through the door. Lead your Boston there immediately. Ideally, pick a specific corner in the backyard. Assigning one spot is huge for routine lovers like Bostons. It stops the anxiety about where to go. It makes cleaning easier for you. It keeps your garden from becoming a minefield. Don't just pick a random patch of dirt. You have to be strategic here. Accessibility is critical. Bostons have short coats and bad breathing. They can't handle extreme temps well. Keep the spot close to the door. You want quick exits in freezing winters or scorching summers. The surface matters too. Grass is usually the winner. It is soft underfoot. It holds scent markers from previous potty breaks. That scent says, hey, do your business here again. If you don't have grass, mulch works. Pea gravel drains well and washes easy. Just check that it doesn't hurt their paws. For apartments, get artificial turf. It is cleaner and easier to disinfect. You also need shelter. Bostons hate wind and rain. Find a spot protected from the elements. A secluded area helps the puppy focus. Keep it away from the hustle. Don't pick a spot next to a busy street. Loud neighbors are a distraction. If there's too much action, your Boston will forget why he is outside. Stick to this spot year-round. Don't switch it up just because it is raining. Puppies are clueless when they arrive. It is your job to teach them the rules. The house is off-limits. One spot is the bathroom. Establish this now while everything is new. They will accept it as the gospel truth. Stay the course. Don't move the target. Now, let's talk crates. Do you need one? You have to remember that Boston Terriers are incredibly expressive little dogs with those huge, telling eyes. They usually let you know they need to go through specific movements, sounds, or a mix of both. Think of these actions as your absolute green light to take them out immediately. Mastering the art of reading your specific dog's cues is the secret sauce of house training. As they mature, these hints might become way more subtle, so you really must remain observant. Watch for the common indicators, starting with intense sniffing. If your puppy suddenly drops their nose to the floor and begins investigating deeply, they are likely hunting for a toilet spot. If your Boston breaks off from playing to sniff the carpet with purpose, take them out instantly. Circling is another huge one to watch for. This is basically a universal signal. Your dog may begin turning in tight loops, focused on a specific patch of floor. This weird little behavior actually goes back to their wild ancestors, trampling down grass to create a safe, clean space. Then you have restlessness and pacing to deal with. A puppy that can't get comfortable is often a puppy that needs to pee. They might trot back and forth, perhaps hovering near the exit, or just look anxious. Switching from calm to agitated is a major red flag. Watch for sudden halts in play too. If you are tossing a toy and your Boston abruptly stops chasing it and looks distracted, their bladder has likely taken priority over the game. Sneaking off is another classic move. If your puppy tries to vanish into another room or behind furniture, they are actively looking for privacy to relieve themselves. This means the urge is strong and immediate. A clever Boston will try to tell you directly by making eye contact and vocalizing. They might stare at you, then glance at the door, often accompanying this with a whine or a specific sound. Listen closely, because a potty whine usually sounds distinct from a demand for treats. When subtle looks don't work, your dog might resort to nudging or pawing at you. They might start tapping your leg or bumping your hand. This is an urgent plea for assistance. Finally, you've got squatting or posturing. This is the point of no return. Females will crouch low, and young males will usually squat before they learn to lift a leg later in life. Both will arch their backs to defecate. If you catch this, you have seconds to act. Interrupt them gently and rush them out. When you see these signs, don't hesitate. Rush your puppy to their zone. Young puppies may be clumsy with these signals initially, but they will get better at communicating with you over time. Every Boston is an individual, and you will soon learn the unique quirks that indicate your dog needs to go. Why is it helpful? The AKC says it ranks high for potty training. Dogs are clean animals. They hate sleeping in their own mess. The Humane Society agrees it is a vital tool. It is not magic, though. You have to use it right. Some dogs get anxious, sure. But generally, vets and breeders love crate training. It uses that ancestral den instinct. Even a Boston puppy wants a clean bed. The crate helps them physically hold their bladder. They wait until you let them out. It stops night wandering. It keeps them safe when you leave. It is perfect for when you can't watch them like a hawk. This management strategy cuts down on accidents big time. It speeds up bladder control. For a Boston, it is arguably your best tool. It is a fast path to a clean home. But you have to be humane. It is not a prison cell. It is a safe haven. Never lock a puppy away for hours on end. That is just unkind. It forces them to soil their bed. That ruins the training. If you work 9 to 5, get a dog walker. Break up the day. Before your puppy arrives, get your gear sorted. Don't wait for the first accident. Start with nutrition. It's pretty simple math, so don't worry. If your puppy is 2 months old, they can hold it for about 2 hours. At 4 months, you've got maybe 4 hours of safety. But there is a hard cap on this. Once they hit 9 months, don't push it past 8 or 9 hours. That's just cruel. Now, listen closely because this is where people mess up. These numbers are just loose estimates, okay? A sleeping puppy can hold it way longer because their metabolism slows down. But an active puppy? That's a ticking time bomb. You know the zoomies, right? That frantic burst of energy where they tuck their butt and run like a maniac? That physical activity gets the digestion moving fast. If they zoom, they need to go out immediately. You have to be proactive here. Feed them on a schedule so you know when the output is coming. Pick up the water bowl a couple of hours before bed to save your sanity at 3 a.m. And watch out for sudden changes, because that could mean a health issue. Don't test their limits. Get them out before they're desperate. All right, let's talk about what's actually going on inside that little head of theirs. I know the heading up there mentions a herding mindset, but stick with me for a second. Your Boston Terrier isn't exactly looking for sheep to round up in the backyard. They were actually refined from tough pit fighting roots into the American gentleman. It's a fancy nickname, sure, but it means they were designed for one specific job. That job is being your best friend. Unlike a shepherd who can work alone in a field, your Boston's heritage makes them obsessed with you. They aren't independent workers. They are straight-up Velcro dogs. Their whole life revolves around being your shadow. This intense connection is huge for how we handle the potty stuff. Because they are bred to be lovers, they are incredibly sensitive to your tone of voice. If you start yelling or scolding them harshly for an accident, they just shut down. It breaks their heart, honestly. But here's the kicker. They've got that terrier spirit too. That means they can be a little stubborn and independent when they want to be. You can't dominate a Boston. It just doesn't work. You have to motivate them. Their biggest weakness? They desperately want you to be proud of them. Use that.
And since we are talking about their need for connection, we gotta mention separation anxiety. It's the downside of being such a good companion. You have to teach them that being alone is okay, or they'll panic. Reward them for being calm when you leave, and keep their brains busy with puzzles. A bored, anxious Boston is a destructive one.
Now let's get into the logistics of the bladder. We call this Bladder Math. It's a guideline the American Kennel Club uses, and it saves lives, or at least it saves rugs. The general rule is the month-to-hour ratio. Indoor potty pads, also known as training pads or wee-wee pads, are a common consideration for owners. The decision ultimately rests on your particular lifestyle, your dog's requirements, and your long-term training objectives. However, for a breed as intelligent and texture-sensitive as the Boston Terrier, relying on these aids often does more harm than good. While they offer a tempting convenience for apartment living or avoiding the rain, they frequently create significant long-term behavioral hurdles. The core issue is that pads teach your puppy that eliminating inside the house is acceptable, albeit in a specific spot. This sends a mixed message that directly undermines the goal of outdoor house training. Furthermore, Boston puppies are playful and prone to shredding. They often mistake the crinkly, absorbent pads for voids to be destroyed, rather than toilets to be used. Most critically, pads cultivate a surface preference. By conditioning your dog to seek out soft, absorbent textures underfoot, you run the risk of them generalizing this preference to your expensive area rugs, bath mats, or carpeting. This makes the transition to grass or soil much more difficult later on. While generally ill-advised for this breed, pads can serve as a mandatory last resort in specific scenarios. Think about high-rise living, where getting to ground level quickly is impossible. They help owners with mobility issues who cannot physically take the dog out frequently. They are useful for unvaccinated puppies to protect them from parvovirus in high-traffic public areas. They work as a safety net during dangerous storms. In these rare instances, view the pads strictly as a temporary management tool, not a permanent lifestyle. For a companion dog meant to join you on walks, the most effective strategy is to establish a single, consistent outdoor bathroom zone from day one to avoid confusion. The most effective strategy is to initiate house training the instant your Boston Terrier puppy crosses the threshold of their new home. Generally, the sweet spot for learning falls between 8 and 12 weeks of age. During this period, a puppy's brain functions like a sponge, absorbing new rules and routines with remarkable speed. Because they are in such a pivotal stage of development, habits, both good and bad, cement themselves almost instantly. Beginning immediately helps define boundaries within their new environment right from the start. While teaching a puppy to do their business outside can be an exhausting and occasionally exasperating ordeal, tackling it early makes the entire process significantly smoother. Delaying this education allows your Boston to develop preferences for eliminating indoors, which becomes a much harder behavior to untrain down the road. You really don't want them thinking the rug is the bathroom. However, don't be too early. The optimal time to commence structured training is once the puppy reaches the 8-week mark. Prior to this milestone, they simply lack the physical bladder control and cognitive maturity required for reliable results. Attempting rigorous training before this age can lead to frustration for both the owner and the puppy. It is easy to misinterpret submissive or excitement urination, but handling it wrong can exacerbate the issue. You must realize that submissive and excitement urination are not potty training failures. Your dog isn't plotting against you or being rebellious. These leaks are an automatic physical reaction to strong feelings. They aren't peeing on the floor on purpose. They simply cannot control their bladder muscles in that moment of fear or joy. Let's talk about submissive urination first. This is an act of respect. The dog is signaling, "You are the boss, I am small. Please be nice." It is a leftover instinct from being a puppy in a pack. It is essentially a white flag of surrender, triggered by perceived intimidation, loud voices, or fear.
Then there is excitement urination. This occurs when a dog, usually a puppy, gets so ramped up and happy that their developing body fails to stop the flow of urine. The sheer intensity of their delight overrides their physical ability to hold it. This is common in Bostons, who love people intensely. To deal with these issues, the golden rule is to never scold the dog, as this will only make them more afraid or confused, worsening the leaking. Instead, you need to prevent the trigger. Keep homecomings boring and quiet. Ignore the dog for the first few minutes. Change the angle when you say hello. Get down on the floor to be less threatening, and pet them on the chest or chin rather than the top of the head. Location matters here too. A good trick is to do your greetings outdoors so any leaks land on the grass. To fix this long term, boost your Boston's confidence through positive training. If they do leak, clean it up without a word to avoid adding tension. Finally, always use an enzymatic cleaner to thoroughly eliminate odors and prevent remarking. For both types of urination, most Boston Terriers will grow out of it as they get older and gain better muscle control and confidence. Your job is to guide them through this phase calmly. If the problem doesn't go away or is severe, check with your vet to rule out infection or a professional trainer for specific advice. Okay, you've got your spot picked out. Now you need to communicate that this patch of grass is the holy grail. The most critical rule here is the payout. You have to reward them the instant they finish the job. I'm talking about a Class A treat here. Don't give them a boring piece of kibble. We need the good stuff. Freeze-dried liver, a tiny piece of cheese, or some boiled chicken. It has to be worth working for. And timing? Timing is absolutely everything. This is a non-negotiable rule, folks. The treat has to land in their mouth within 1 or 2 seconds of the squat. Bam, right there. If you wait until you walk back into the house, you blew it. Think about it from their perspective. If you treat them in the kitchen, they think, oh, I got paid for running inside. That's not what we want. We want them to know that peeing on the grass equals chicken. This turns a boring bathroom break into a rewarding game. They'll actually start eager to please you. Finally, we have to talk about the cleanup. Cleaning up accidents thoroughly is non-negotiable, but so many people get this wrong. When a puppy goes on the floor, they leave an invisible scent marker. It's like a neon sign telling them, hey, bathroom is right here. The mistake everyone makes is using regular household cleaners. Do not use ammonia-based stuff. Urine has ammonia in it, so if you clean with ammonia, you are basically refreshing the scent marker. You are making it smell more like a toilet to them. You have to use an enzymatic cleaner. It's the only thing that works. These cleaners have bacteria and enzymes that actually eat the waste proteins. You soak the spot, let it sit, and let it air dry. The enzymes need time to do their job. This erases the smell completely, not just for you, but for the dog. If you skip this, your Boston's nose will find that spot again. They will think it's an approved zone. Don't set yourself up for failure like that. Get the right cleaner. Just as you feel confident that house training is complete, your puppy might start messing up the house again. It's honestly brutal to watch. We call this the potty training regression period. Usually this hits right when they hit those teenage months, somewhere between 6 and 12 months old. It's the hormones talking, causing them to test boundaries and seemingly forget every rule you taught them. Or maybe you gave them too much freedom way too fast. If they aren't fully riable, they shouldn't have the run of the house. We often get lazy, relax our vigilance, and stop rewarding the outdoor wins too early. Sometimes it's just stress, like moving houses or bringing a new family member home. First things first, always get a vet check to rule out medical stuff like a UTI or bladder stones. If the health check is clear, treat that dog like a brand new puppy. You've got to go back to basics immediately. I'm talking crate training, frequent breaks on the leash, and the really good snacks. Do not leave them unsupervised. If you can't watch them, crate them or put them in a safe zone. It feels like a defeat, I know, but it's almost always just a passing phase. Stick to the routine and your smart Boston will figure it out again. Ringing a bell is a fantastic, clear way for a puppy to shout, "Hey, I gotta go!" It totally beats guessing what those stares or pacing circles mean. Here's how you do it. Hang some sleigh bells on the doorknob, or put a desk bell on the floor. Every single time you take the dog out, ring that bell yourself. Say outside or potty, loud and clear. You want to teach the puppy to touch the bell with their nose or paw for a treat. Eventually, the reward isn't the food, it's the door opening. The sound of that bell becomes their key to the outside world. Now, you gotta watch out for the play bell. Smart breeds like Bostons are tricky. They might learn to ring the bell just to go outside and chase leaves. To stop this, when that bell rings, take them out on a leash to their spot. Stand still and be totally boring. If they don't go within 2 or 3 minutes, bring them back inside immediately. This teaches them the bell is for business, not for playtime. Consistency from everyone in the house is mandatory for this to work. You can't have one person giving in, or the whole system falls apart. If you absolutely have to use indoor potty pads for a Boston Terrier, there are a few things to think about. Bostons are smallish, sure, but they can be destructive little monsters when they're bored. First, you've got heavy-duty disposable pads. They have high absorbency and are super convenient because there's zero cleanup. You just toss them in the trash. But it's a recurring expense that adds up. Plus, there's a high risk of them being shredded by a playful terrier. It's a huge mess to clean up. These are really best for emergency use or when you're traveling. Then you have washable potty pads. These are eco-friendly and cost-effective over time. Usually they're made of tough fabric that resists shredding better than the paper ones. The downside is the upfront cost is higher, and obviously it requires regular laundry because you have to wash them well to kill the odors. They're best for long-term use or lining crates. Finally, there are innovative solutions like real grass patches. Handling accidents is arguably the most trying aspect of this entire process. It is vital to realize that these moments rarely occur because the dog is being naughty. Rather, they usually stem from medical issues, being physically young, or just a simple misunderstanding. Think about the physical immaturity factor. Puppies literally cannot hold it sometimes. Expecting a 3-month-old to wait 6 hours is an owner failure, not a dog failure. Maybe the click hasn't happened yet. The puppy hasn't fully grasped that potty equals outside. This takes hundreds of consistent repetitions to sink in. If a reliable dog starts having accidents, check for medical issues like UTIs or parasites immediately. Despite your best efforts, potty accidents are inevitable, especially in the beginning. You have to prepare yourself mentally for the cleanup and maintain your patience. Reacting with anger will only make the dog afraid to eliminate in front of you. That leads to them hiding behind sofas to do their business, which is way worse. Stay calm, clean it up with enzymes, and just try again. It's messy work, but you'll get there. The first year of a Boston Terrier's life is the whole ballgame. It is the definitive window where we shape a confident, polite family member. To support this crazy developmental phase, the American Kennel Club established 2 foundational programs. They are called STAR Puppy and Canine Good Citizen. Think of the STAR program as the starting line for your little guy. It focuses on the basic needs of a growing pup. Then you have the CGC program, which sets the bar for how a responsible dog acts in society. Both of these have evolved from simple certificates into official titles. You can permanently attach them to your dog's record. It adds some serious prestige to your training efforts. This is a structured curriculum designed just for you and dogs under a year old. The acronym STAR stands for Socialization, Training, Activity, and Responsibility. It isn't a high-pressure pass-or-fail test that makes you sweat. Instead, it is a 6-week course guided by an AKC-approved evaluator. We focus entirely on progression here. The course tracks your progress across 20 specific skills. We emphasize consistent learning and bonding over a one-time perfect performance. For a high-energy breed like the Boston Terrier, this course is a lifesaver. It provides a necessary outlet for their intelligence and enthusiasm.
It channels their energy into productive learning rather than destructive boredom. The CGC program is widely recognized as the gold standard for dog manners. It emphasizes responsible ownership and the dog's ability to behave in public. To earn this title, the dog must pass a rigorous 10-step test. They have to demonstrate they can remain calm and polite in daily situations. The test includes navigating crowds and ignoring distractions like dropped food. They also have to accept handling from friendly strangers without jumping or barking. That is a crucial skill for the overly friendly Boston Terrier. The CGC is available to all breeds and ages. It serves as a mandatory prerequisite for therapy dog work. It can even assist with securing homeowners insurance or rental applications. It basically proves your dog is a safe community member. These programs are meant to work as a ladder of achievement. The process is managed by AKC-approved CGC evaluators. These are professionals who maintain high standards of testing and instruction. They verify the owner's commitment to raising a civilized companion. Creating a rock-solid, predictable daily flow is the foundation of housebreaking. This is especially true for a smart, companion-oriented breeds like the Boston Terrier. These dogs find immense comfort in patterns. They feel secure when they know what is coming next. A fixed routine teaches them exactly where and when to do their business. It reduces anxiety and limits the chance of accidents by removing the guesswork. Ideally, your puppy's day should be blocked out with specific times. You need set slots for sleep, fun, training sessions, meals, and bathroom trips. A rigid schedule helps regulate their digestion. It makes their bathroom needs much easier to forecast. Strict meal times are the linchpin of this entire strategy. When food goes in at the same time every day, the need to eliminate follows a predictable rhythm. This makes your job much easier. Feed them 2 to 3 times daily, depending on their age. Stick to the clock religiously. Remove the bowl after 15 or 20 minutes. Do not leave food out all day. The free feeding approach destroys your ability to guess when they need to go. By strictly managing the input, you gain the ability to predict the output.
Structure your day around these 5 critical moments. Missing one often results in an accident. First is immediately upon waking. This is the most critical time. The moment your Boston opens their eyes, carry them straight to their designated bathroom zone. Do not let them walk there. They may squat before reaching the door. Next is shortly after every meal. Food intake kickstarts the gastrocolic reflex. This stimulates the digestive tract. A young pup will usually need to defecate between 10 and 30 minutes after the bowl is empty.
Third is after every play or training session. The excitement of a game or the mental work of training increases bladder pressure. Once the activity winds down, take a calm walk to the potty area immediately. Fourth is before being left alone. Always offer a bathroom break right before crating the puppy or leaving the house. This ensures an empty bladder. It sets them up for a comfortable, accident-free wait. Finally, take them out right before bedtime. This is your final task of the day. Make sure they empty the tank just before lights out to help everyone sleep through the night. Beyond these standard times, many owners find success by keeping a journal early on. Note down exactly when the puppy sleeps, eats, and plays. Record exactly when they eliminate. This data will reveal your dog's unique biological rhythms. It helps you catch accidents before they happen. Post the schedule on the refrigerator for easy reference. All family members need to be on the same page. Consistency is everything here. The entire family must stick to the plan. If just one person allows the puppy to roam unsupervised after dinner, it can undo weeks of progress. Positive reinforcement is the most effective, humane, and scientifically backed method for training any dog. This approach is especially effective for a people-pleasing, sensitive, and intelligent companion like the Boston Terrier. They really want to work with you. Harshness just shuts them down. Science proves that rewards work better than fear, so let's use what works. It's about being smart with your training.
The American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior strongly advocates for the exclusive use of reward-based training methods. They know that harsh, aversive techniques can cause serious psychological harm. The American Kennel Club states that positive reinforcement should be the foundation of all dog training. The Humane Society of the United States considers it a powerful and effective tool. Basically, everyone who knows dogs agrees on this. There is no debate among the pros. Trust the experts on this one. Think of it as your dog's paycheck. In the same way that a salary motivates you to go to work, your dog requires payment to motivate them. You are asking them to potty outdoors, against their natural urge to just go wherever they are standing. That is a big ask for a little dog. You have to make it worth their while. Pay them well for a job well done. Utilize top-tier treats, such as tiny bits of cheese, hot dogs, or boiled chicken. You need something that smells amazing. Dry kibble isn't gonna cut it here. You want them to be excited about the reward. Keep these special treats strictly for outdoor successes. If they get cheese for free in the kitchen, it loses its power as a potty training tool. You gotta keep the economy strong. No free lunch. The goal is to make the reward so tempting that your dog actively wants to go outside to earn it. We want them dragging you to the door. That is when you know you've won. Motivation is everything. Always combine the treat with joyful, animated praise. Boston Terriers thrive on emotional connection. Your genuine happiness is a massive incentive for this affectionate breed. You must deliver the reward immediately after they finish, within 2 seconds. This way, they connect the action with the prize. If you wait, they won't know why they're getting a treat. Timing is absolutely critical. Physical discipline is both unkind and ineffective. Shouting or scolding will degrade the trust between you and your dog. It ends up instilling anxiety and fear. You don't want a scared dog. You want a confident one. Punishment damages the bond you are trying to build. It's just not worth it. Stay calm and stay kind. Actually, a 2020 study in the PLOS One journal provided physiological evidence regarding the harm of punitive methods. The researchers found that dogs subjected to aversive training, such as yelling or leash jerks, displayed higher frequencies of stress behaviors. We're talking about things like lip licking and yawning. They possessed significantly elevated cortisol levels, the stress hormone, after training compared to those taught with reward-based systems. It physically stresses them out. Boston Terriers are sensitive souls that require a supportive guide, not a strict dictator. They may respond to harshness by becoming timid, shutting down, or developing anxiety. A relationship founded on mutual respect and trust is the greatest tool you have. Managing accidents properly is just as big of a deal as celebrating the wins, especially with a breed that reads your emotions like the Boston Terrier. Your response right here has the power to either lock in their training or totally scare them off. If you catch your puppy mid-squat inside, interrupt them right now. A loud clap or a sharp usually stops the flow instantly. Scoop that little guy up, midstream if you have to, and run him to his outdoor spot fast. When they finish the deed outside, throw a party and praise them like they just won the lottery. Look, you have to get this through your head. Your Boston isn't doing this to be a jerk. They are simply a young dog trying to figure out how the world works. Maybe their bladder was just too full and you missed the "I gotta go" dance. Whatever you do, never yell or rub their nose in the mess. Boston Terriers are super sensitive souls. Being harsh will only teach them to hide behind the sofa when nature calls. Think of every mistake as a clue to help you fix your game plan. Ask yourself, did I wait too long between breaks? Did I miss a signal, like sniffing or circling the rug? Maybe the accident happened right after a nap or a meal. To fix it, just take them out more often and watch their body language like a hawk. Clean it up with an enzymatic cleaner so the smell is gone for good. Handle it calm and cool, and you'll guide your clever Boston to success while keeping that bond strong. For a social butterfly like a Boston Terrier,
Socialization isn't just a suggestion, it's survival. It is an essential, non-negotiable part of raising a well-adjusted dog. Positive socialization is your best defense against having a scared or snappy dog later on. A properly socialized Austin grows up to be chill, steady, and friendly. It is your job to introduce your puppy to new faces and places in a fun, upbeat way. Take them to safe spots where they can sniff around and hear new things, but skip the dog park for now. Wait until they have their shots, are a bit older, and actually listen to you. You need to get them used to vacuum cleaners and blenders, not just outdoor noises like traffic. If they are terrified of the outdoors, they won't relax enough to pee out there.
Socialization is huge for every dog, but for small guys like Boston's, it keeps them from getting overwhelmed. You want to turn that natural friendliness into real confidence. Consistent positive exposure helps them learn manners, so they don't get timid or too hyper. This involves curating happy interactions, not throwing them into a giant crowd. You are their bodyguard, so don't let strangers or big dogs freak them out. The main window for this is during the first few months. Just make sure those vaccinations are done before you let them say hi to random dogs. You gotta pick a magic word for the bathroom, like go potty, hurry up, or do business. Keep it short and don't change it, or you'll just confuse the poor thing. Timing is absolutely everything with this stuff. When you get outside and see them squat, say the command calmly right then. This links the physical feeling of going with the word you're saying. Always say this cue in a happy, nice tone of voice. Make sure everyone in the house is on the same page. If mom says go potty and dad says get busy, the puppy won't know what's up. Navigating the nights requires a tactical plan that handles their physical limits. You need a steady evening ritual to empty the tank and help them unwind. The big secret is to limit water intake about 2 hours before bed. This restriction prevents their small bladder from filling up while you're trying to sleep. During the last hour, switch from crazy wrestling to calming activities. This shift slows down their heart rate and gets them ready for deep sleep. Your crate is your best friend for night management. For the first few weeks, keep the crate right there in your bedroom. You need to be close enough to hear them if they wake up. Real talk. An 8-week-old puppy physically cannot hold it for 8 hours. You are going to have to take them out to avoid messes. Keep these night trips super boring. Keep lights low, don't play, and don't talk much. You want them to know it is sleep time, not party time. For the first week or two, take a proactive approach rather than waiting for them to cry. If bedtime is 11 p.m., remember their tiny bladder is weak. Set an alarm for 3 a.m. to beat them to the punch. This technique prevents accidents and shows them you run the schedule. Patience and consistency are the twin pillars of success. Honestly, those are requirements for you, not the dog. Raising a dog is a massive commitment that demands time. These dogs are high energy and affectionate, so it takes work. Each puppy needs a different amount of reps to learn a new behavior. Bostons are smart, but they don't download skills like a computer. You will hit roadblocks, but you must not let the frustration take over. Remain patient and consistent with your training to ensure you win in the long run. Every member of the household must agree on the rules and cues. If you are inconsistent, the dog will just be anxious. Training is a journey, a marathon, not a sprint. Each puppy is unique and learns on their own timeline. Patience and consistency are the absolute bedrock of a successful result. The energy and hours you invest now will pay off for years. Don't forget to applaud the small victories along the way. Training is an ongoing conversation, not a final exam. Your hard work gets you a clever, loyal, and awesome partner. House training is often the most difficult aspect of puppyhood. It isn't a simple trick like shake. It is a complex ordeal where you have to override biology. Potty training battles your puppy's basic instincts. A puppy is programmed to go whenever the urge hits. They have no inherent concept of indoor versus outdoor rules. They also lack the neurological maturity to physically hold their bladder. Additionally, they develop surface preferences fast, usually deciding your rug is the perfect toilet. Success takes time and hundreds of repetitions to override these instincts. Whether potty training succeeds depends almost entirely on your vigilance. This stuff is physically and mentally draining. It requires the owner's constant vigilance and 100% supervision. This entails watching your puppy like a hawk at all times. Use a crate or leash them to you when you can't watch them. The schedule is demanding, requiring outdoor trips after every meal and nap. This includes tiring middle-of-the-night breaks to handle their needs. On top of that, you must scrub every accident with an enzymatic cleaner. Potty training is a complex compromise between human and beast, but by comprehending these hurdles, you can tackle the problem with empathy. House training is one of the first big tests for any new owner. The reality is that there is no fixed graduation date. It is a lengthy process that can often lead to frustration. You can expect the entire process to take anywhere from 4 to 6 months. However, getting to where they are fully trustworthy might take a year. This schedule is not set in stone. Even within the Boston Terrier breed, variation exists. Some are eager to please, and some are more stubborn. Pay attention to your specific dog's personality and progress. Consistency from you is the most important factor. A rigid schedule and instant rewards will accelerate the learning curve. Inconsistent training will baffle your smart Boston and drag it out. While you can see progress early, don't be discouraged. Reliable potty training is a marathon, often taking the better part of a year.